Hello, everyone, to whichever part of the globe you belong to. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is your host for the evening, Anand Sitaraman, a decade old in TCS and looking after the people function for the CMI Business Group. Extremely humbled, honored, and privileged this evening on a very windy and rainy Mumbai evening to be hosting some incredible women leaders from the telco industry who have spearheaded multiple initiatives across their organizations. And it's my pleasure to host all of you. Also, a warm hello to everybody who is seeing us live on LinkedIn. As many of us know, TCS today is around close to 14,000 odd women workforce as part of the headcount. And the aim of this initiative is to reach out to as many more in terms of adding our women headcount and thereby making a very strong statement that inclusion is without exception in our company. Towards this, our CEO, Kriti, as you all know, makes a very bold statement when he says, in a world marked by rapid technological advancements, diversity, equity, and inclusion are not mere buzzwords. They are essential pillars that drive innovation and foster creativity. Towards this, it is our humble endeavor as we start our Building a Better Tomorrow series, which explores topics that matter. And this series today is dedicated to ideas to action, inspiring women in tech. We will discuss how women leaders in this panel discussion are driving innovation, contributing to a more diverse and dynamic tech landscape, embracing emerging technologies, and more importantly, creating a balance between work and well-being. As it's very commonly said, a strong woman stands for herself. A stronger woman stands for everyone else. And I'm sure that's what the leaders you see here in this discussion have done for themselves and for people who idolize them in their day-to-day life. Towards this endeavor, I would like to welcome my boss and president for the CMI Business Group in TCS, Akhilesh Tiwari, to deliver his welcome address. Akhilesh, over to you.
Well, thank you so much, Anand. Happy to be here as we come together to celebrate this incredible journey of women in tech industry. At TCS, we inherit our core values of diversity, equity, and inclusion from Tata Group. The group that has stood as a beacon of ethical business practices, respect for all, and a deep commitment to the community for over 150 years. We at TCS are also proud to be one of the largest employers of women professionals globally, with over 214,000 women making up about 36% of our workforce. The team spans 5 continents, 153 nationalities, and over 600,000 employees, each contributing to the rich experiences, ideas, innovations that define who we are. What's particularly heartening to note that in the past 5 years alone, we have seen almost a 55% increase in senior women executives in our company. A clear sign that we are making strides towards a more inclusive future. But our commitment goes beyond numbers. At TCS, we are building a purposeful ecosystem where people, communities are at the center of everything we do. We have launched various initiatives like Rebegin, which enables women join after a career break. Another initiative, Lead, which combines various activities within leadership and diversity. And DI Council at our business group level to promote diversity, inclusion, and equity. The inclusion and representation of women in technology is an important ongoing conversation. In recent years, technology has been serving as a tool to break barriers set by stereotypes and to ensure that women get access to opportunities in tech industries. To substantiate the role of technology being an enabler for women, a recent report by NASSCOM and Boston Consulting Group, BCG, highlighted a very powerful insight that 90% of women regard Gen AI as an essential tool for their career advancement. Now, this statistic underscores a crucial opportunity and responsibility for all of us, as Gen AI is projected to dominate 1/3 of the global AI landscape by 2027. We are optimistic that our women colleagues will benefit tremendously from this revolution. And with this, I want to express my sincere gratitude to our esteemed guests, Antonita and Kalyani, for joining this conversation along with Sujata. Your participation in this panel discussion is invaluable to us, and it is a true pleasure to have you all with us today. Thank you for your commitment to advancing the tech industry and for being the champions of diversity, equity, and inclusion. We look forward to the continued support of our global clients to keep this conversation growing, promote opportunities in STEM, and inspire many more women to emulate you and to embrace a tech-enabled progressive future. With that, I look forward to a very inspiring conversation. Thank you, Anand.
Thank you so much, Akhilesh. For those of us who have worked with you, we know your commitment to building a very strong leadership pipeline of women across nationalities in the industry and in our business group. Thanks for your sponsorship, as always. It is now my pleasure, as well as an honor, to introduce our three guests, Antonita, Kalyani, and Sujata. Antonita is part of Proximus. She's been a distinguished member of the Proximus Leadership Squad since April 2021, serving as their Chief Digital and IT Officer. Prior to her tenure at Proximus, she held pivotal roles across various organizations. Her expertise has been cultivated across multiple European countries, including Italy, Switzerland, Denmark, and Belgium, and she is a council member of ETIS. Not to forget, she has received multiple recognitions, including Telco CX of the Year in 2021, Telco Woman of the Year in 2022, and many, many more. Thank you, Antonita, for taking out time and being a part of this engaging panel discussion. Along with Antonita, we have Kalyani. Kalyani Shekhar leads Verizon's artificial intelligence and data organization, focused on leveraging the power of data and AI across the enterprise. Kalyani is responsible for a broad range of disciplines, from an AI center of excellence to data governance, data architecture, and engineering, and more importantly, to AI ethics and industrialization. Kalyani joined Verizon in 2002 as an architect and has held various leadership roles of increasing responsibility across portfolios in Verizon. We also know, Kalyani, you are an avid traveler and have a very strong liking for Indian classical music. So welcome once more, Kalyani, and thank you for taking out time to be a part of this conversation. Last but not the least, we have Sujata. Sujata Gopal from TCS. She's a Chief Technology Officer for the Communications, Media, Information Services Business Unit of TCS and has over 25 years of experience across various industries, including banking and financial services, manufacturing, retail, communications, and media. She's also an industry advisor to several CXOs. Thank you so much, Sujata, for again taking out time and being a part of this engaging panel discussion. Before I move on to my series of questions and engaging discussions with our guest speakers, for those of you who have joined in through LinkedIn, please feel free to post your questions. Time permitting, we will surely try and take one or two questions or many more maybe, so that our guest speakers can answer those based on their experiences. Thank you once again. And we'll start with our first question. And this will be for Antonita, to you. All of us have had pivotal moments in our careers. Personally, for me, it was, say, moving to Mumbai very early in my career. And that played a very big role to whatever little growth I've seen in my professional career. What would you see as your pivotal moment in the career, if you can share with all of us?
Yes, thank you so much for this question, and very, very happy to be with all of you. So, for me, definitely the pivotal moment has been when I decided to leave Italy and to start an international career. I think it has been extremely important because it has opened my mind, my horizon, has exposed me to different culture, to many different people, to different way of working, many different contexts that have enriched me and I think have stimulated not only a growth in terms of career, but also a personal growth and all this moment, all this experience abroad in different countries with different culture have helped me to become who I am today.
Thank you so much, Antonita. Extremely impressive. I'm sure many of the leaders watching you or hearing you live will get inspired by this. Kalyani, with moving on to you, I think you have seen more than 2 decades of your experience in Verizon. What helped you decide that you want to move into technology as the passion or the industry segment, and perhaps go deep as a career path for yourself?
Thank you, Anand, for the question, and thanks for the opportunity, Anand and Akhilesh. It is really a great opportunity for me to meet the team, meet the community virtually, and provide my thoughts and experiences. So, with respect to your question, so definitely time flies so fast, and it is. I think after you said, I realized that it's almost more than two decades I spent in technology. So if you think of, if I backtrack and look into my career, and technology was booming at that time, and I was very passionate about STEM, and I got into computer science because that was emerging at that time in 90s. So when I got into computers, and I really wanted to be in that field because I was very passionate about it. And that's when I got the opportunity to work in telecom industry. And it was maybe as a vendor, as a part of Bell Atlantic. I was in telecom. It was very passionate, and it was in the wholesale group I started. When Verizon started in 2002 in India, and that's when I shifted to Verizon. And after that, it went like a dream. So I would say the technology that throughout the period, and I was so happy that I've seen the evolution of technology going from mainframe to DB to object-oriented. It is almost like it was evolving up to the data and AI era we are in. And along with that, it was a great coincidence for me to be part of the telco industry that was also evolving with technology. And if you just go back to the telco industry, it all started with copper. And when I look into the home, it all started with copper and then into fiber, and now it is fixed wireless. Similarly, from 3G to 4G to 5G, and the amount of industries it started impacting, going into IoT, network slicing, and everything, there is a very strong coincidence between the telco and the tech. I could see and I can correlate. That really made me to be passionate in technology as well as telco, and now I can see how 20 years passed by like a second.
Well, thank you so much, Kalyani. I'm sure you've seen software evolve in front of your eyes as you spent those 2 decades, and wishing you perhaps 2 decades more with Verizon, and keep inspiring many as the years pass by. Now I'll move on to Sujata. Sujata, you have been a homegrown TCSer. So let me ask you, what did you choose to focus on as you developed your career in the tech sector?
Thank you, Anand, for this question, and wonderful to be on the panel along with Antonietta and Kalyani. Yes, I am a career TCSer, born and brought up in TCS as far as professional life goes, as I put it very often. So across my 25 plus years of career in TCS, and I played multiple roles, starting off as a programmer, developer, being a tester, being an architect. I've had dabbled in roles across sales, delivery management, consulting, and so on. So all through the different roles that I've played, one thing has remained constant, which actually is change, right? Whether it is change of domains, change of technology, that has continuously evolved throughout the the entire career that I have span across this 25 years. And what always inspired me that in terms of, very similar to Kalyani, I also started off with the green screens or the mainframe world, then moved into distributed systems and service-based architectures and cloud. And of course, now we are in the era of, developing solutions infused with AI. At one point, I decided to, specialize myself, specifically in the technology domain because I found a great passion for that, and I chose architecture as the discipline. And I grew through my work in different, projects, stemming from a solution architect to cloud architect, enterprise architect, and so on and so forth. What I observed is that, my personal experience, if you have a room full of people and if an architect speaks, everyone shuts up and listen to you. So there are different, things that I have looked at in terms of, this whole trajectory of, experience here. One is, of course, as I said, technology is evolving. Learning has been a very, very continuous process, and staying grounded is very, very important. And I look at various ways to keep myself grounded. And today, when time permits, I take time off to code as well, right? And most often nowadays, it's Gen AI that I dabble in. But that helps me stay grounded and be more pragmatic, right? The other thing, of course, is to stay focused on this technology as a domain. It's also very important to collaborate and network, both within the company as well as outside the organization. So those have been predominantly the areas that I have focused, and I keep telling that it's as technologies evolved and there's so many explosion of technology has happened. From select few technologies that we were focused on early on, now it's a plethora of one. So of course you cannot be master of all, but essentially I call myself more of a jack of all and master of few, master of some. Yeah. So that's the way I look at it, Anand.
Well, thank you so much, Sujata. I think you pretty much summed up. And generally in our conversations, when you speak, we actually shut up. So you're pretty much summed up your journey within TCS too. Now, each of us have a proud moment which we cherish in our professional journey. I'm sure it's not new for all three of you. For me personally, when I was looking after the HR for Middle East and Africa, I say this in multiple forums. When someone asks, what's your most proudest moment? It was when we decided as a company to set up an all-women center in Saudi Arabia, which all of you know is considered a very patriarchal country with very tough norms. To be in that country, partner with the government, along with Aramco to set up an all-women center where we have today 800 odd employees working. It was, or it is still today, or maybe it will still remain as the proudest moment for me even after 20 years, as I look back in my career. And that's not because I'm today representing or being a part of a Women in Technology session. That's my standard answer in any forum when somebody asks me this question. Let me now take this question to you, Antonita and Kalyani specifically. What were those turning points, proud moments, as you look back in your career now, in your life? Maybe we'll start with Antonita.
Yes, I think for me the most important moment of my career have been, first of all, to find the courage to express my idea, but also to make sure that I would gain knowledge about the companies in terms of having an overall view, an overall picture about everything. Sometimes people in technology have the tendency to get expertise in one sector, but then if you miss the overall picture, if you miss the full view, then it's difficult also to grow. You stay a specialist. And also, I think you need to be able also to learn to be competitive. And this is something also that at the moment I have learned that competition and healthy competition, it's good. This definitely has helped not only but allowed me also to apply for a high for top management position, to believe in myself, and also to make sure that that I was firm on my ideas. I would push forward my ideas, and this has allowed me to grow.
Thank you so much. Extremely impressive. Thank you, Antonita. Kalyani?
So I could see the pride in both your faces, Antonita and Anand, when you talked about your pride moment, and let me make an attempt there. So when I talk about my pride moments, I would say pride moments and turning point. So my pride moments, because I joined Verizon as an architect, and throughout my career, almost I took rotation every 3 years. So I worked in either I took a rotation in a different function or a different portfolio or a different technology. So I took rotation all the time. Every 3 years, I'll get something new and I work on something new. I would say every moment when I took the rotation, I always felt it was a pride moment because it gave me an opportunity to work with a different set of people, different technology, different domain. That really made me to get so excited. Let me now talk about the turning point. So as I was mentioning, I was very passionate about technology and I was into architecture. And I was an architect, core architect, and Sujata, not like an architect like you for a long time. So I was an architect. So all of a sudden, I think one day in the early, maybe 2005-6 timeframe, my leader called me and said, Kalyani, I think I see a potential in you to be a leader. And why don't you shift your career and get into the leadership role than just staying as an architect? And it made me to think multiple times because it was my passionate area and I was really thinking whether I really want to move out. But I thought, okay, it's a moment for me to take a risk and explore an area which I'm not very comfortable with at that moment. And I took that. And if I go back and retrospect on the decision I made and what I have accomplished as a leader, and the impact I created not only in me and also the larger organization and in people, I feel that's the pride moment. The day I made the decision to be a leader, and I would call that as a pride moment again.
Thank you so much, Kalyani. I think two key messages, if I can draw as inference from Antonita, is be courageous and speak up when needed. And from Kalyani, be uncomfortable. Because once you slip into a state of comfort, I think, you're heading towards perhaps doom. So thank you so much for sharing that input. Now, perhaps a question to all three of you, Sujata, Antonita, and Kalyani. What are you think in your thought process companies can do better to foster a very inclusive environment for women in technology? And if you can share something which your organization does, that will be great. So we will start with Sujata.
Yeah, thanks, Anand. Sure. So for me, of course, there is no question that that diversity and inclusion is very, very critical and core to our business. And of course, you and Akhilesh alluded to what TCS broadly, how we are set up and what is our larger vision from our senior management perspective and how we have been doing that all along. I think personally, what every company, for instance, need to do is, first and foremost, is basically the listening aspect of it, right? I think we need to have a continuous dialogue process. We need to ensure that we take inputs, across various sectors, various diverse workforce, and the presentation from women at all levels, whether it is for on a team connect basis or a larger connect, for instance. So the more inputs that we gather, the more listening that we do in terms of understanding aspiration of women, what are the typical roadblocks that they face, what are the additive, enablement that may be required from an organization's part. I think these all will act, from an organization's perspective to foster more, curated spaces for women to express themselves, as well as be able to carve out their own trajectory within the company and the growth. So listening, in my view, is one very, very important aspect. And of course, from TCS perspective, as a and as a woman leader in TCS, who have had I've had 2 career breaks myself for 2 maternity breaks for taking care of my children. And each time I came back, I took off from where I left off, and I think I owe a lot to the organization to enable for me to take up that opportunity where I left off and come back to where I left, right? And particularly, I've seen our recent focus on TCS Rebegin, which is a program which is focused on hiring women who have had career breaks. Specifically, is one very, very path-breaking initiative specifically to help women rejoin back the career workforce here, right? And I have been part of specific leadership programs curated for women employees in TCS, such as IXL and others, which is very curated, focused to groom, women employees in leadership roles. I think these are all, and of course, resource groups which allow women to share their inputs in a very safe environment. These are all some of the things I think from an organization perspective it goes a long way in terms of helping improve diversity and inclusion.
Thank you so much, Sujata. All I can say is very proud to be a peer of yours in TCS. Moving to Antonita.
Yes, I also believe that diversity is inclusion. It's a key for success. And for me, it's extremely important to motivate women, first of all, to study technology from the very beginning, but then also to build the right level of flexibility and support mechanism to make sure that they are seen and they are promoted. Also, sometimes it's important to incentivize them to apply for some position, because sometimes there is the tendency of women not to apply for a top management position or for leadership position, and there it's required sometimes not only role models but also a bit of incentive to apply. Myself, I have my personal blog to promote interview and experience of women in technology, and I made also a strategic choice not to choose only C-level, but also, women that work in tech at every level, because I think that every experience counts, and everybody should inspire others. Unfortunately, I do think we are still a bit behind, so I hope that we can catch up, not only sharing some story, but also encouraging all women that are interested in technology to go for it.
Thank you so much, Antonita. Kalyani.
Great points. And from my perspective, I would say gender gap is something that exists in the work environment. And first of all, there is a very clear acceptance and awareness about that. And as an organization, as a leadership team, it's important for us to take actions to encourage diversity and equity at workplace. So as a women leader in technology, I believe it's not only the organization's responsibility, it is also leadership responsibility to see how to mentor more women, provide the right kind of visibility, share the experience, and raise them along with us, right? I think that is important as a women leader. Along with that, I think I'm also part of different focus groups where there are lots of timely programs that we introduce to improve diversity in thinking and diversity in the workforce. So Verizon as an organization definitely promotes a lot from women perspective at all levels. As Antonita said, it is not like it happens overnight at certain level. It's important to bring the leadership of women and the diversity across all levels. So from hiring perspective, we partner with lots of diverse organizations and NGOs to bring the diverse workforce, and specifically for the technology, for the AI and data space, we work very closely with Breakthrough Tech and some NGOs who really helps us to bring people across different diversity. And as an organization, as Sujata mentioned, we have different programs where we create an environment for women to come together, share their experiences at the same time, talk about the challenges they go through without any inhibitions. I think that's also, I think we have ERGs like WAVE, WOW. There are different ERG programs that is there. But at the same time, I'm a very strong believer of process more than the output. When I say that, it is not just about encouraging women to join, encouraging women to get into leadership. It's also creating the environment that really helps women to go through the different life stages they are going through. Because this point came up when Sujata talked about her experience, because it's because the environment should allow, because as women, let's all accept the fact that we go through different stages in our life and we have our own commitments. I think creating programs and also in bringing in the environment where they don't feel defeated, at the same time they are encouraged to work in an environment and flourish is important. And that's what I really see organization evolving very well.
Thank you so much, Kalyani. In fact, mind-boggling actually. I think creating that culture of empathy is so important for women leaders to thrive wherever they are. So thanks for that input. I think I come back to you, Kalyani. Sorry for that. Now, with this evolving world of AI, Verizon recently rolled out AI tools for transforming customer experience. As a CDO driving the same, what are your views on the role diversity plays in the evolution of AI, and what are the new frontiers evolving in this space?
I would say definitely, as you rightly said, AI is really opening up lots of opportunities which we have not gone through, which we have not seen, with respect to bringing more revenues and at the same time driving the cost efficiencies. At the same time, provide the best experience for our customers and employees. Along with that, it is important for us to embrace and practice AI with very strong responsible practices. And when I say responsible practices, having a very strong principles like transparency, how we mitigate the bias, how we are taking care of the privacy requirements that is evolving day by day in the AI practices we bring in, that is a key. While we do this, it's not just thinking about responsible practices in one stages, doing the model build or thinking about deploying the model or running the model. Starting from thinking about data exploration, designing a model, building a model, deploying a model, running a model, in all those phases, really thinking about, am I doing it responsibly? Am I doing it right? And consistently ensuring that these practices are followed is the key. So that's something I think we as an organization have engrossed into for quite some time, and now we are pretty matured in managing that. I think in this one, what really brings in the responsible practices is not just thinking about the practice. It is also about thinking about responsible practices from the time you bring the data, because data is something that really make the AI flourish all the time. So I think bringing the right set of data is important. Having the right people looking at this, because you really need to have the diverse set of people, be it legal, security, privacy, technology, everyone looking at that and ensuring that the responsible practices are followed. That is a key. Last but not the least, Anand, it is important for us to have the diversified AI skill sets. And diversified people bringing in AI skills is the key. Because it's not only doing it responsibly, it is also driving innovation. And that happens only when you bring the right people into the mix. And that is what I really see working with the traditional, be it traditional AI or generative AI or the whole AI spectrum that is evolving. That is something that is really exciting.
Oh, thank you, Kalyani. I remember my statistics professor I keep speaking to him. So he keeps telling me, Anand, I know revenue is coming through AI, but don't forget, as individuals, as organizations, we need to ensure those revenues are ethically generated through AI. I think that's why you spoke about responsibility. You spoke about doing things in the ethical way so that, we do not run behind the bandwagon of just generating revenue, compromising the other aspects, which can come on the negative side when AI comes in. So thank you so much, Kalyani, for bringing out that point. Antonella, let me head back to you. All of us have seen failures, setbacks, not that all of us have, a very icing on the cake type of career. What have been situations in your life? I'm sure you had setbacks, and how did you overcome it? Maybe as a message you want to leave to people who are listening to you.
Yes, I think this is really part of life of everybody, and I had several. I would say the first one was when I was really young, and it was digitalization was not yet so advanced. I had the idea that the PBX should disappear and then everything should be digital. Right now, we have today mobile PBX, digital PBX, digital routing, but back then was quite innovative idea, and technically I also did it. But then the adoption of it was so difficult because the organization was not behind, the customer were not ready to do that. We had some customer interested, but then they could not operate. The customer service was not ready to handle something which is only software, as well as the operational stability was different, right? Because for a small company and SME, they could not allow to not to have the call forwarded in the right time because you have a software problem or because you are doing the release. So it was a bit disappointing because technically you have a solution, but you see that all the rest around you is not ready. The lesson learned for me is that it's the onboarding of all stakeholders, of people and customer from the very beginning. It's extremely important. Otherwise, you have something which, in your view, can be technologically brilliant, but that it's difficult to use and where it's difficult also to serve the right customer experience. But in general, I think every experience and every setback, it's really a moment of reflection, a moment where you have to forget to be upset, to be scared, to be afraid to be charged, right, for something that can go wrong, which sometimes is not easy, but really try to understand what you should do better and different for next time. And if you are able to learn from that, then you will have other setback, but at least you will be learning lots of lessons on while you build your career, your technological solution that help not only the solution but also the personal growth.
Oh, thank you so much, Antonita, for that message. Now we'll come to Sujata. You know, you've been a technologist throughout. In your view, what are those unique opportunities as well as challenges which any technical person faces by being in the organization?
No, absolutely, Anand. So, in today's parlance, we see that technology is evolving at a very, very fast pace, right? So, it's all very, very important. While it presents innumerable opportunities, we are looking at, a place where we're talking about multi-disciplines, multi-skills, etc., which whether it is a woman or a man, in terms of the kind of roles and the skill sets that they need to acquire to meet their role demands, and and be able to build those kind of solutions which which will meet the needs of business. So definitely role and the skill set is definitely one of the big opportunity as well as a challenge, and of course that needs to be embraced in today's world. Secondly, specifically since you were asked about diversity, there are of course various streams of career growth and aspirations which is feasible in any large organization. Whether it is a sales career path, whether it is specific technology, as a career path, whether it is, delivery management, so to say, and things like that. It's important to, kind of, help, provide that opportunity for individuals to see which is the right career path that fits themselves for their career progression. And we need to divert attention from typical stereotyped career progressions, etc., which used to be there before. And of course, we are slowly getting away from that. And so definitely when you look at all these, curated career paths, of course, multidisciplinary competencies are very, very important here. In my personal view, I think, not to talk about any bias, but I think there are a lot of women who are very adept in terms of, adopting faster pace of change when it's aligned to multidisciplinary competencies and things like that. Will definitely be an opportunity to look at. Yeah. And of course, no role comes without challenges. So we need to, of course, break free from, and find out ways how we to best mold our, working environment. How do we take more challenges on, right, in terms of, and not to step away from, I think, what Antonita mentioned in terms of not to take every failure as a learning stepping stone in terms of, how do we curate that and build that, and of course, take it as a challenge. So yes, so basically there are both opportunities and challenges, and I think these are very exciting times to be here.
Well, thank you, Sujata. What would life have been without challenges? So I'm sure it only makes us more stronger as we move on. See, I represent the people function. I'm very passionate about HR and the function. So it's very unfair if I don't ask one of you about the impact which AI perhaps has, AI and Gen AI both, which is rapidly transforming our industry, specifically telecommunication industry. So Antonita, just specifically for you, now, with this rapid transformation which AI is bringing today to our industries, how do you see talent? How do you look at talent from your perspective? What key skills you think the workforce of today should adopt if they are to perhaps thrive and shine amidst this rapid transformation which is happening around us?
Yes, indeed, it's a very interesting question, because also I was indeed over the last months working at my strategic workforce planning, and it was not easy, to be honest, because AI and Gen AI are going fast, are changing lots. You see more and more indeed the multidisciplinary skill needed. You see that IT people needs to have deep business knowledge in order to come up with the right solution, but at the same time you need to know a bit of everything if you want to build the right solution, focus on the customer experience as well. So difficult to say, to be honest, but definitely there is one thing that I think will be extremely important is the flexibility, because I think the workforce of tomorrow have to be flexible to constantly learn and forget what they have learned in the past, but also the curiosity to explore new things or things that look and are completely different from anything they believed was right in the past or was done in a certain way in the past. I think the technological skill definitely can be learned, but I think the mindset to approach the new technology and the mindset also to be open to this constant learning, it will be extremely important, because you can be the best technical expert, but if you don't have that, it's very difficult. I had, for example, cases of a brilliant developer which refused to get help from AI because they think they can do better. Perhaps they can, but AI can scale, and you as a person cannot, and you have to accept certain things and adjust and bring your value in a different way. So I think this acceptance, this way of learning new things, this flexibility would be extremely important for each of us that work in the field of technology.
Thank you. As they say, have the heart of an adult, but the mind of a child, with utmost curiosity, and that's how you move on with respect to success. So thank you so much, Antonita, for sharing that. Now coming back to Kalyani, I think a lot of women leaders, I'm sure, are listening to us or will listen to the recording, which will be up and running in LinkedIn. What would be that one message you want to leave with aspiring women who want to enter the tech sector, but perhaps are inhibited by multiple factors?
I think the tricky thing is you said one message, and that's where I'm really thinking, okay, because there are so many messages that I try to give, and I'm trying to bring the best message. I would say you, maybe any women, and since you are talking about the challenges that anyone going through, I think you know the best position that you will get fit into. And I would say maybe what worked for me may not work for you. You really see where your best positioning is, tap into the opportunity, because there is nothing that it's not like opportunity will not knock at your door all the time, and it knocks at your door at once. And please tap in your opportunity and see how to bring the best of you in everything. It can be your capability, it can be your expertise, it can be your collaborative skills. So bring the best of you whenever you get an opportunity and shine there. That's the one thing I will always tell to any women or men, whoever is aspiring in their career.
Thank you, Kalyani. Bring the best is the key message I take back from your viewpoint. Sujata, again, a lot is evolving in the technology front in AI and Gen AI both. So what are those new trends you are seeing on the technology front itself? If in a minute you can perhaps summarize.
This is a favorite question for me. I live and breathe technology, but I'll try to keep it very brief. So, of course, I think we are in the stage we are seeing that the whole FOMO effect of Gen AI, as I call it, is actually fading, and now we are talking about we are in an era of we are looking at what are those specific solutions, use cases which actually are value generating for the business. Right. And when we talk about this, of course, there is a lot, there's a model in the market every day. And from a technology perspective, it is about, shifting usage of, the technology from becoming more contextual to the domain, more contextual to the industry. So we are moving away from general purpose models into more domain specific models as we speak today. And I think that is where the industry is headed to as well. And to me, the way I look at it now, we are still talking about AI as specific initiatives and projects, etc. There will soon be a time when AI will become very pervasive, like cloud is becoming today. So it'll be a native part of every project, program, and solution by itself, right? And I agree with Kalyani also in the whole aspect of responsible AI, and I believe all these solutions that we build on AI, the human AI teaming will become a very, very important part. There will always be a human in the loop, with whether the degree of dependence on human versus AI, that will be subjective and varies from solutions to solution. But there will definitely be a human AI teaming that will become per se. And specifically, as technology evolves, we also have to keep in view that things will become more open source and more distributed. So I think overall, it will become a genre of lot of orchestration of AI solutions rather than standalone build of AI solutions. And we are also in the market. We see a lot of demand for sovereign AI, which means like very localized capabilities and etc. And we are in a world where cyber security and threat is very, very prominent, and we require capabilities to have adaptive threat intelligence continuously. So this is another big area which is of focus that I am also very keenly studying this area. And of course, when we talk about all of these embracing technology, it also comes with a lot of cost of on the environment per se, in terms of sustainable infrastructures and things like that. So all of it at the judicious use of technology. That so we have equal responsibility of sustainability towards the environment as well. I think just to summarize, these are some of the brief perspectives here.
Oh, thank you so much, Sujata. As I'm as excited, I'm sure, with AI, Gen AI coming in, it's here to stay for a few more years. And like you said, it'll then become pervasive, like cloud. We have had a lot of engaging conversations over the past, perhaps, 47 minutes. Now let's move to something more fast, more rapid, and might not have a lot of fire, but we still will go with it. So it's a rapid fire round for all three of you, in no particular order. I'll pose a set of questions which all three of you have to answer. You can't do a pass for sure. And we'll do a 5 or 6 set of questions, and then if we have time, we'll get to some audience questions So Antonita, Sujata, Kalyani, hope you're all set. The first question, your favorite book? Antonita?
Can I go first?
The Four Agreements.
Yeah, I think maybe I read lots of books. The recent one that was very favorite to me was Leaders Eat Last. This is a book from Simon Sinek, and this was very timely, and I would encourage all of you to read that.
Antonita?
The Four Agreements, because I found it very inspiring, and I think it could serve as a guide for everybody.
Okay, Sujata?
Yeah, there are many books to choose from, but if you were asked me to pick up one, I think it's a very, very small handbook of Ikigai.
Okay, the purpose in life. Okay, thank you so much. For me, it's The Alchemist. I keep reading a lot. The same book actually over and over. Next one, your hobby. When you're not with Verizon, Proximus, or checking emails or meetings in TCS, what do you do in your free time?
For me, it is exploring nature. It can be a national park or in beaches.
Good.
I paint. I'm an artist in my free time. I have a huge collection of painting. It's I think around 600 or something like that. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow. Okay, Sujata?
Yeah, I resumed my passion for classical dancing a few years back, and I'm actively learning classical dance and also giving stage performances. So that's a passion that I rekindled, after many years of break. So dance is definitely something that I cherish, and that's my stress buster.
Thanks, Sujata. We'll meet you soon in Chennai. Your favorite app, except Outlook or Teams?
WhatsApp.
WhatsApp. Okay. Sujata?
It's difficult
there is
for me,
this-
to be honest.
There's one app which somebody introduced to me recently called Figure. It's basically puzzles and trivia. So whenever I'm on the flight or when I'm some free time, enjoy solving puzzles. That's kind of what I spent time on recently. Yeah.
Antonita?
It's very difficult for me. I have so many that to mention one, I don't know. It's almost impossible. But perhaps, yeah, I would say WhatsApp as well because I use it a lot. So.
Okay, good. I use Sudoku a lot. I still play a lot whenever I get time. So that's my favorite app for now. One dream you think you want to leave before you retire from the world? Your dream, one dream you definitely want to achieve.
My dream before I retire is cultivating and mentoring more leaders to reach their highest potential.
Antonita?
Yeah, it's really inspiring people with my art, with my blog. It's not only with my business experience and with my position, but also with the other activity that I've done, like writing book and painting, because it shows that the black box or in which sometimes they put leader, like if you work you cannot be an artist, if you work you cannot have kids, if you work you cannot do many other things. And this is like, you can work, you can have a demanding job, but you can paint and you can write books and you can inspire women through blogs or doing many other things.
Thank you. Sujata?
Yeah, so in the workspace, I would say that, of course, what I can do on my part to mentor more of course, men and women, both to pursue more deeper technology as a career stream is definitely one of my dream. And on the personal front, I like to do a lot of more travel, specifically on the rural areas and all that, which I never got an opportunity to do, rural area in India. And so it's something that's on my bucket list for a long time, but that's something maybe when I have more time, I'd like to take up.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. I think the next one is I would like you to complete a line. The line is, as a woman in tech ambassador, I would love to. You were to describe what you love to. So maybe we'll start with you, Antonita. As a woman in tech ambassador, you would love to
create an impact for future generation.
Kalyani?
I would use technology and data to solve the global challenges.
Sujata?
I'd like to see when D&I is a way of life and we don't need to have discussions like technology is not a boys' club.
I don't think it's a boys' club anymore. So thanks so much for that. I think we have time for maybe one audience question. Let me just quickly pull that up. Okay, this one is for you, Antonita and Kalyani, both of you. What helps you de-stress? I know you spoke about your hobby, but is there anything else which you do to de-stress since it's coming from the audience?
For me, it's well, on top of my hobbies, it's walking in the nature or in general, walking in peaceful environment. Sometimes also if I have a very tough business day, I go out 15 minutes walk and clean up my mind. This definitely helps me a lot.
Kalyani?
I would say personally to de-stress, definitely I focus on yoga and classical music. So when I hear Sujata about your passion towards dance, definitely mine is music. And along with that, the other thing I feel it because whether it is work or home, right? It is really good for us to put a box around our thinking. You think about work when you are at work, and when you are at home, think about home. With mixing that will really add more stress to you.
Thank you so much, Kalyani and Antonita. I think we are nearing the top of the hour. So we will park the audience questions for later. But it is my absolute honor, privilege to host you, Antonita, Kalyani, Sujata, for this absolutely engaging conversation over the last 58 minutes on a topic which is always close to my heart and of course, to the TCS leadership. That's why we are into this session. We look forward to many more such editions in the future. I also take this opportunity to thank Akhilesh for the sponsorship, for the entire marketing team, your offices, Antonita and Kalyani, for helping us in agreeing to your consent to join this session. And most importantly, I think I wish you all the very best. As I said, it was my honor to host you. A lot of people question that how can you have a male anchor for a WIT session? I said that's what inclusivity is, and actually I'm privileged that I'm hosting this session with three of you. So thank you once again to each of you and to all of you who are watching us on LinkedIn Live. Till we meet again, goodbye, and wish you all a very happy evening. Thanks again. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.